this is probably for the best, because if I stood down there with Bill and Jared, you probably couldn't see me. But the connection with PCB and our community partnership led us back to the Lively family. Jared is the grandson of one of the most famous Tech alums and Hall of Famers that we have, Mr. Jim Lively. So during that reconnection, Jared and I began to talk, and after the passing of his grandfather, they found some really cool memorabilia that they wanted to donate back to WVU Tech. So tonight, if you haven't seen this wonderful display table that we have here, are some of the original items from Tech's only undefeated football season in 1949. Jim Lively was the quarterback of that team. So these items will forever be housed in the Tech Hall of Fame, and there will be a display for all of these items. So we want to show our appreciation to Jared and the rest of the Lively family for all they've done for Tech and Tech athletics. So thank you, guys.
So good evening and welcome to the 2024 West Virginia University Institute of Technology Distinguished Alumni Academic Awards Dinner. As I mentioned before, I'm Jen Wood, proud alumna of WVU Tech, the state's only Institute of Technology, and the President's Chief of Staff. I'm so honored to have the opportunity to be here with all of you, especially our outstanding awardees. We would like to thank our sponsors who helped make homecoming and tonight's events possible. I know that I shared this in the reception, but I know we had some folks that joined us late, so I do want to take the time with all of the support that we've had from our sponsors to give them another shout out. Our presenting sponsor and community partner, Pendleton Community Bank. Our gold sponsors, the Tech Golden Bear Alumni Association, New River Engineers Incorporated, Cucumber and Company, Paul Maddox and Elaine Maddox, and our table sponsors, Bob Arrett, Ryan Browning, the family of Jim Piercy, Fragile Law Firm, Ed Robinson. I'd also like to thank the team here at the resort at Glade Springs for their support and hospitality. Let's give all of our sponsors a round of applause. I'd like to draw your attention to the dates of the upcoming events on the back of your program. We have some great activities for alumni and friends coming up. We hope that you will join us for those festivities. Also, Day of Giving is on March 20th, and that's in your program on page 26, where you can find more information about that event. We ask that you please share this information with your friends and fellow Golden Bears. We have one change to our schedule of events this evening. According to what's printed in your program, President Stewart will provide his remarks after he presents the Presidential Award this evening. Since 1949, it has been our tradition to honor graduates by selecting outstanding alumni for the Alumni of the Year Award. Of more than 20,000 graduates, fewer than 150 alumni have been named to this exclusive group. Alumni of the Year awardees have achieved such recognition and successful stature in their chosen professions and serve as outstanding examples of the value of their academic preparation at WVU Tech. They have a strong commitment to service, as found in a record of selfless acts on behalf of family, friends, neighbors, and their local community. They have given their time, talent, and treasure to WVU Tech. In 2018, we added an award to recognize our outstanding young alumni in honor of Dr. Leonard C. Nelson, former president of WVU Tech. In 2022, we added an award to recognize our amazing faculty, for which nominations come only from students and alumni for this award. This year, there were two more awards added. The Tech Golden Bear Alumni Association Outstanding Alumni Award, of which we have two recipients to recognize this evening. And last but not least, our new Lifetime Achievement Award that is selected by our president. At this time, I'd like to also recognize our president and first lady, Dr. T. Ramon Stewart and Jamila Stewart. They made it just in time from the Hall of Fame welcome. At this time, I would like to ask all the past awardees of any of our academic awards in the room or Hall of Fame inductees to stand and be recognized. All our honorees this evening and the awardees honored in the years prior have been leaders in their professional career, been selfless in their service to others, and have given time, talent, and treasure back to their alma mater. On behalf of WVU Tech, we're extremely proud of all of our amazing awardees. Later, we will hear more about them in the official award presentations. Before dinner, we'd like to take a moment of silence to remember the Golden Bears that we lost this year. I'd ask all of us to take a moment of silence. Thank you. Our first award this evening is the Nelson Distinguished Young Alumni Award, which was established in 2018 in honor of Dr. Leonard C. Nelson and is presented to young leaders, rising stars in their field, as evidenced by substantial professional accomplishments early in their career. They will have demonstrated a commitment to service, a passion for their profession, and support for WVU Tech through gifts of their time and talent. The recognition affirms the university's treasured traditions of academic excellence, leadership, responsibility, and service. The Nelson Distinguished Young Alumni Awardee must be 35 years old or younger and have graduated at least 5 years ago. I know we've recognized our awardees this evening, but I know that we have at least one other young alum awardee in the room. I'd like to have any of our young alum awardees please stand and be recognized. This year, our Nelson Distinguished Young Alumni Awardee is Joshua Cook, a 2012 graduate. He graduated with a bachelor's degree in civil engineering and earned his master's degree from Marshall University in engineering with an environmental emphasis. His professional career has been spent in the energy sector. He currently works as an engineering manager for New River Engineers in Morgantown, West Virginia. He is a native of Boone County and now lives outside of Morgantown with his wife and 2 daughters. I'd like to ask President Stewart and Dean Tamara Floyd-Smith to join me at the podium to present Josh with his award. And also Josh to come and get his award. Sorry.
All right. Congratulations. Hold it. There you go. All right. Yep, appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Jen said I had to say something. Obviously, I want to thank my parents for the lessons and dedication. I'm going to set this over here and I'll pick it back up. Okay? All right. All right. I want to thank my parents for their lessons and dedications through the years. My teachers and mentors, both in and out of school, for teaching me how to push harder than I thought possible. And of course, my wife, Sydney, who not only has given me my 2 daughters, but she has continued to show her support and love and understanding for me and my career for 11 years, 12 years, whatever it's been now. A defining thread in my life has been tech. I knew from the moment that I stepped into the grounds in 8th grade that it would be the place I'd make a home after graduating high school. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I was going to make it there at Tech. I love Tech, and everybody that knows me, that has talked to me about college, knows that I love Tech. It's the place that I proposed to Sydney, who was really confused because that was the first time she had ever been on that campus. And while the campus looks different than what many of us remember as our Tech, there's no Macklin Hall or the Nelson Engineering Building, where I spent too many nights on the 5th floor with all of my friends studying, laughing, maybe some more things, who knows. Someone was silly enough to give me a key to that building, and I made that engineering building on that 5th floor my home for 2 of those years while I was president of the ASCE chapter. We as alumni have the duty and the privilege to tell the story of this great institution. Not the tales of Montgomery or Beckley, but of this storied institute of technology that has produced the best engineers the state has to offer, generation after generation. I am very proud to be from West Virginia. I was raised on the Spruce River, right on the border of Boone and Logan counties. Tech is the key for this state to produce and raise engineers, professionals, and leaders from places just like that. I thank the committee for this award, but most of all, I thank Tech for everything it's done for me.
Congratulations, Josh. I don't know why, there you are. Congratulations. It's now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Tamara Floyd-Smith, Dean of the Leonard C. Nelson College of Engineering and Sciences, to present the Golden Bear Empowerment Faculty Award.
Good evening. I didn't hear you. Good evening. The Golden Bear Empowerment Faculty Award recognizes the talent and care of our wonderful faculty at WVU Tech. It honors a current or former faculty member for demonstrating a commitment to service and a passion for their profession and support for WVU Tech. Most importantly, this is an award nominated by former or current students and affirms the university's treasured traditions of academic excellence, leadership, responsibility, and service. Dr. Yogendra Panta was born and raised in Nepal. He earned bachelor's degrees in physical sciences and mechanical engineering from Tribhuvan University Institute of Engineering at Pulchuk campus, Nepal. He came to the United States in 2002 as a graduate student at Youngstown State University, where he received his master's degree in mechanical engineering. He then went on to obtain his doctorate in mechanical engineering from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Dr. Panta taught 5 years at Youngstown State University before coming to WVU Tech in 2013. He is very involved and dedicated to student success and has a keen interest in innovative learning, development, and mentorship. He was awarded the WVU Foundation Outstanding Teaching Award in 2021 and was voted the Professor of the Year by the WVU Tech Pi Tau Sigma Mechanical Engineering Honor Society twice. Dr. Panta has also been twice awarded as a NASA Summer Fellow and most recently returned from Nepal after completing a project awarded by the prestigious Fulbright Fellowship Program of the United States Department of State. He and his wife, Manju, who works at WVU Tech as a library associate, live in Beckley with their 2 children. It is my honor to present Dr. Yogendra Panta with the Golden Bear Empowerment Faculty Award for 2024.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and fellow Golden Bears, good evening. Tonight I stand before you with a heart brimming with gratitude and humility, as I am deeply honored to receive the Golden Bear Empowerment Faculty Award from WVU Tech. Reflecting on this esteemed recognition, I am reminded of the words of Albert Einstein, who wisely said, quote, "Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value." From the foothills of Nepal to the halls of WVU Tech, my journey has been guided by a commitment to service, a passion for education, and a profound belief in the transformative power of knowledge. This award is more than an accolade. It's a testament to the dedication, passion, and unwavering commitment to excellence that defines our institution. As I reflect on the journey that has led me to this remarkable moment, I am reminded of the words of Maya Angelou, who said, quote, "My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style." From the breathtaking heights of Mount Everest to the inspiring grandeur of the Grand Canyon and the sheer power of Niagara Falls, my mission has been to thrive, to inspire, to educate, and to empower. First and foremost, I must express my deepest gratitude to my two beloved late mothers, Ved Kumari and Sthir Kumari, and my late father, Gehendra Panta, whose unwavering belief in me has been my guiding lights. Their lessons in creativity, original thinking, and novel ideas have shaped my approach to education and inspired me to strive for excellence in all endeavors. To my own family, particularly my wife Manju, whose warmth, support, invaluable advice, and unshakable belief in me have been my rock, I owe a debt of gratitude that words cannot express. And to my children, Maya and Yasmeet, whose boundless curiosity and love for STEM fields mirror my own. You are my greatest pride and joy. I am also deeply indebted to my dear friend and mentor, Al Sills from Columbiana, Ohio. Your unwavering belief in my potential and steadfast support have been a beacon of guidance on this journey. I am also thankful to my brother Nagin from Alaska, along with other siblings from Nepal, for their belief in my pursuit of excellence, and to my friend Narayan from Texas, whose unconditional support has meant the world to me. In the words of Maya Angelou, quote, "I have learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." It is my sincerest hope that I have made each and every one of my students feel valued, inspired, and empowered to reach for the stars. Tonight, I stand not only as an educator, but as a champion for my students, both past and present, with a profound sense of humility and purpose. Teaching has always been about more than just disseminating knowledge. It is about nurturing curiosity, fostering creativity, and empowering each student to become lifelong learners, compassionate individuals, and agents of positive change in their communities. as I dedicate this Golden Bear Award, Empowerment Award to my students, both past and present. I do so with a renewed sense of purpose and commitment to providing an inclusive, socially just education that is accessible to all. In the words of Martin Luther King Jr., quote, "The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education." It is my fervent belief that education is not just about mastering course materials and earning top grades. It's about instilling a love of learning, fostering personal growth, and nurturing next generation of leaders. In closing, I extend my heartfelt thanks to WVU Tech for this incredible honor and to President Stewart for his visionary leadership and unwavering commitment to academic excellence. Together, let us continue to blaze new trails, push boundaries, and empower the next generation of leaders. Thank you all, and may we continue to shine brightly as golden bears. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you again, Dr. Panta. At this time, I would like to invite Dr. Scott Fleming, Dean of the College of Business, Humanities, and Social Sciences, to the podium to present the college's Alumni of the Year honoree.
Thank you, Dean Smith. You know, this is a wonderful time of the year. Hang on here. I got to bend over to. This is a wonderful time of the year. Just so you know, earlier this week, I signed a stack of Dean's Award winners from students. And we go through and we do faculty evaluations right now. We get to read all of the wonderful things they've done all year, and you just got to see that with Dr. Panta, learned a little bit about him. And then each college, we get to talk a little bit about a successful alumni. And with that, the 2024 Alumni of the Year Award for the College of Business, Humanities, and Social Sciences is Casey Foster. So Casey is a 2003 and 2004 graduate with a bachelor's degree in public service administration and history and government with minors in political science and economics. She continued her education at WVU, where she studied Appalachian history. Her work led her to Pittsburgh after graduate school, but returned her to her home state of West Virginia in 2010. Casey worked for several newspapers in journalism and advertising before beginning her current role at the West Virginia Higher Education Policy Commission as their community outreach and engagement specialist in the Division of Student Affairs. She coordinates many campaigns to help prepare West Virginia students for education and training beyond high school. She also is an active member in her community and still contributes to newspapers and magazines in West Virginia as a freelance journalist. It is my honor to present this award to Casey Foster on behalf of the College of Business, Humanities, and Social Sciences.
Get out my bifocals here. I am forever grateful to Tech and the opportunities it provided me. I was a shy mountain girl who was scared to look people in the eyes. But through Tech, I learned to grow as a person and live up to my full potential. I was encouraged to participate and given the opportunity to shine. The faculty and staff took the time to know us, and you didn't feel like a number. You felt like your voice mattered, and you could succeed. By the time graduation rolled around, I felt like I could achieve any of my dreams. My favorite story is of Dr. Karen LaRoe, Tech's president at the time. Through my work with student organizations, I saw LaRoe fairly often. I was torn between pursuing master's in education or communications, and I was sitting in her office. And she said, "Casey, where do you see yourself in the future?" And I told her, I wanted to be president of Tech one day. She didn't blink. She didn't blink. She rose up from her chair, and she said, "Sit in my chair." And nervously, I did. And she looked me in the eyes, and she told me, "You can accomplish anything you set your mind to doing. I believe in you. If you want to be president of Tech one day, you can become president of Tech one day." And that meant the world to me as a student. That moment stuck in my memory for almost 20 years now. Whenever I felt like I couldn't do something, I remembered her words. She believed in me. I could succeed. Now, I'll never be president of Tech, so you don't have anything to worry about. However, I achieved my dreams. I had successful careers in both education and communications, and not very many people can say that they had two dreams and they accomplished both of them. And I thank Tech for that, for giving me that opportunity to be who I deserved and I should be. So I want to thank the past, the present, and the future faculty and staff of Tech, because what you do matters to little mountain girls just like me. Also, I want to thank my mom and dad for sticking with me and all my years of school. So thank you very much.
I'd like to invite back to the podium Dr. Tamara Floyd-Smith.
Thank you, Scott. The 2024 Alumni of the Year awardee for the Leonard C. Nelson College of Engineering and Sciences is Jimmy Riston. After completing his general equivalency diploma, otherwise known as a GED, in his 30s, Jimmy Riston decided to enroll at WVU Tech and graduated with his bachelor's degree in civil engineering in 1996. Since then, he served as the Deputy Secretary and Deputy Commissioner, as Chief Transportation Engineer, Special Projects Manager, Engineering Advisor to the Secretary of Transportation, and as Structures Project Manager for the Engineering Division. He was appointed in October 2021 by Governor Jim Justice to serve as Secretary of Transportation and Commissioner of Highways for the state of West Virginia. Riston is a champion for education and believes the West Virginia Department of Transportation has the capability to be the best educated DOT in the country. His life story is one of overcoming the stigma of a young man who dropped out of high school to go to work at a young age. The role he now holds is a progression made possible both by hard work and by seeking continuous education. It is my honor to present this award to Jimmy Riston on behalf of the Leonard C. Nelson College of Engineering and Sciences. Speech.
Well, you saw everybody else come up here with a bunch of notes, and I just don't do that. I don't even know what I'm going to say until I start talking. So let me tell you, this means a lot to me. And those of you that know me, it's hard for me to say that something means a lot to me. But we didn't get here by myself, did not. One of the proudest moments of my entire career was to present a distinguished West Virginia award to Ed Robinson here, another distinguished West Virginia alumni. Probably the stellar point in my career was when Secretary Maddox called me down from the 4th floor of the engineering division and said, "I need you to do something." And I answered the call. That's what I did. Nobody is more supportive of West Virginia Tech than Secretary Maddox. No. Nobody. That's just the facts. Nobody has more to be grateful for West Virginia Tech than I do. Everything I have, I owe to West Virginia Tech. I've had a lot of milestones in my career. This is a big one, guys. This is a really big one. I have to thank probably my great partner, Secretary Bird White, who graciously come down here this evening. Bird, we did it the right way. Everybody, I would like you to notice the folks at my table. I've got Jonathan Schaefer. Jonathan's just beginning the journey. That means a lot to me. He really is. He's my legislative liaison. Can you imagine somebody interested in politics in this day and age? For God's sake. Lori Suit. Lori, you're a rock. All we have to do is say, "Lori, help," and she's there. Whether it's an IT issue, whether it's an expense issue, or whether we need a hotel room in Arkansas, it don't matter. And then we come to the Kellers. Deputy Secretary Elena Keller and my chief economic person for Perry. Wow. I know I look a lot older, but y'all look at Elena. We went to school together. We did. Graduated the same year. We really did. But you heard a little bit about my bio. It's true. It's all true. So let's just get that out of the way right off the bat. Everything you've ever heard about me, it's true. I admit it freely. But I did. I was a 17-year-old youth, and I thought I had all the answers. I really did. So I dropped out of high school and thought I'd go get me a job. And I did that. And I worked for 4 years at different things. I've had every job that anybody in here could imagine. You cannot tell me a job that you've had that I haven't done. But after 4 years of working, I realized that 17-year-old that thought he had all the answers didn't even understand the question. And it's true. So for the next 17 years, I worked hard to try to get back to an education. I watched, as a 13-year-old, I watched the New River Gorge Bridge spring from one side of the canyon down there to the other. That affected me. I was an engineer from the day I was born. I just didn't have the credentials. West Virginia Tech gave me the credentials. I worked hard. I really did. I worked hard. I went back to school at age 32. And I earned my degree. I earned honors when I graduated as magna cum laude. Magna cum laude. And now to be the Secretary of Transportation. Can you imagine in West Virginia, the Department of Transportation is being operated and run by a high school dropout? seen a lot of changes with Tech over the years. You know, we were down there at Tech, and we had a 7-Eleven, and we had Benny's, didn't we? We're up here now in Beckley, and we are going to transform this entire region. That's what we're going to do with the help of President Stewart, with the help of Secretary Maddox, help of Secretary Byrd. We're going to do this. We're going to put you a project out there very shortly that is going to that's going to turn Beckley into a college town. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. Look around the state. You can see it. You can see it. The success of Morgantown. It's a college town. Look at Bluefield. It's coming on. It's coming on. We're not going to be left behind here in Beckley because West Virginia Tech is going to lead the way. West Virginia Tech is going to lead the way.
I like how you think.
We're going to do it. There's no such thing. You know, one of my favorite quotes, you know, everybody that's come up here, they've had notes and they've had quotes. You know, one of my favorite ones is from our own governor. He tells you, do not mistake effort with accomplishment. We're about accomplishment, aren't we, President Stewart? Aren't we, Paul? Byrd. That's what we did. That's what we did the whole time we were partners in the thick of it. That's what we're doing today with Elena and Perry and Jonathan and Lori and a whole host of other ones. We're ready. We're ready to meet the challenges as we go forward, and we're going to get this done. We're going to get this done. Tech's best days are not behind us. It's not. It's always darkest just before it turns completely black. It's not even close. It's not even close. Our brightest days are ahead of us. We really are. This means the world to me. Back in 1992, when I went down to Montgomery, and I sat down there with Dr. Nestor, who was in your position, Mayor. Dr. Nestor, that's a Tech icon. That's a Tech legend. Dr. Nestor sat across from me and he said, Jimmy, I just have never heard of anybody with a GED getting an engineering degree. It's just not done. I said, Dr. Nestor, you let me in this damn school, and I swear to God, in 4 years, you will not be able to ever say that again. At commencement in 1996, in May, I reminded Dr. Nestor of those words, and he told me later on he talked to a bridge engineer over in Lewisburg when I first come to Division of Highways, Joe Hayes. He had met with Joe Hayes down there, and I had applied for the Department of Highways, and he told me. He said, I met with Joe Hayes, and he interviewed me, and he told me, he said, you know, Dr. Nestor said, nobody ever understood the concepts of engineering the way you did. I said, well, but I was different, Joe. I said, I already knew how to do the work. I just needed the theory behind the work. Everybody else is working from the other end. So Joe hired me on the spot. He did. He hired me on the spot. I worked for the District 9 Bridge Department for 8 years. Then I come down to Charleston and I interviewed with some of your folks, Paul, the Jim Shooks and the Jim Sothens. Went down there, I applied for 9 jobs at one time. The way they conducted those interviews was to set me in a room, and they brought all the other people to interview me into the room all day long. And I remember one of our former state highway engineer, he told me, he said, you've been working in the district for a while, and he said, we'll have to, it'll take you a while to conform to the way we do things in Charleston. And I said, whoa, Mr. Bailey, you need to understand. I'm not coming down here to conform the way you do things. In 5 years, you're going to be doing things my way. Today, we're doing things my way, and my way is to accomplish things. My way is to put things first, to get West Virginia Tech up in front and at the level that we need to be, and I'm totally committed to that, totally committed to that. And we're going to get it done. I've talked enough for this evening. I appreciate the opportunity. Trust me, nobody appreciates an education more than I do. Nobody. because I earned it. And I had a lot of help. People like you guys, Ed, people like you, Paul, Bird. I love every one of you. Thank you.
All right, we have to give Secretary Riston another round of applause. We have to do it. All right. Now I'd like to invite Hillary Parcell, WVU Tech nursing alumna and chair of the WVU School of Nursing, Beckley campus, to the podium. Hillary.
Thank you, Tamara. The inaugural award recipient for the Alumni of the Year Award for the WVU School of Nursing, Beckley campus, is Stephanie McDougall. Stephanie graduated from WVU Tech in 2010 with a bachelor's degree in nursing. Stephanie earned a master's in nursing at Marshall University. She has also served as an adjunct professor at WVU Tech. She has been promoted many times throughout her career in roles at WVU Medicine Thomas Hospitals. She is an executive board member of the American Association of Critical Care Nurses with the local WVU chapter, has served as the Center for Organ Recovery and Education Liaison for the St. Francis and Thomas campuses, and has been recognized with a 40 Under 40 Nursing Leadership Award. Outside of work, Stephanie volunteers at a local nursing home, hosts baby showers for the community to help serve expecting mothers, cares for animals at local animal shelters, serving as a rescue home for animals in need. She also enjoys spending time outdoors with her family on their mini farm, hiking with her dogs, or cheering on her stepson at soccer games. It is my honor to present this award to Stephanie McDougall on behalf of the WVU School of Nursing, Beckley campus.
Thank you. Congratulations.
First of all, I would just like to say congratulations to everyone tonight. What a great way for us as Tech graduates to come together and celebrate. It's wonderful to hear of everyone's accomplishments and the things that we're doing out in the community. It's an honor to be here and accept this award. Nursing has always kind of been one of my life's passions. I've taken care of a little bit of everything along the way. It isn't just a job, it's part of who I am. And my role in this field has changed many times, from CNA, nurse extern, all the way up to my current role as Director of Critical Care Services. I actually remember starting at Tech. I too was a shy girl, but they did not let you be shy. They brought it out in you. They had you interacting with others, and clinicals at first was absolutely terrifying, learning how to take care of a patient for the first time. And throughout my roles that I have had since then, I've had the privilege of not just being a student, but also completing my clinicals for my master's program with Amy and Mindy, some of the other Tech instructors that are still there. And Mindy was my critical care teacher, which ended up being my passion in nursing. And I remember sitting through one of her lectures, and she said, "You're gonna walk into work one day and they're gonna give you the charge phone and you're gonna have to be ready to roll with it." And I thought, I'm never going to go into leadership. That's not for me. But turns out I've had a lot of leadership roles, and throughout a lot of those phases, Tech has been there in various ways. Now I get to open up my floor to Tech students to complete their final critical care rotations and join you all again here tonight. I'd like to say thank you to my table. You have my mom and dad, mom who's about ready to cry, and super encouraging dad who always told me I couldn't do it, just because that's what dads are good for, right? But he gets to sit through yet again another award ceremony, so joke's on him. My husband, Matt, who, regardless of what I'm doing at work, is helping me out. He was a huge help in the pandemic. He helped feed my nurses and brought us lunch a whole bunch of times, to the point that they thought we were having food catered, but it was really just my husband cooking and bringing food to make sure we ate. And going along with whatever animal or new thing I bring home, a whole mini farm full of everything. And my best friends, Trenton and Alyssa Bogus, who are always there to cheer me on and pick me up from the bad days. And then unfortunately, my clinical coordinator and best friend, Sherry Adams, who could not be here with us tonight, but could not have made it through the pandemic without her, could not do nursing without her. We make a pretty good team. So this core group of people, they're my team. Thank you for your love, guidance, and support. And thank you, Tech, for allowing me to be the inaugural WVU School of Nursing awardee. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Stephanie. I'd like to invite Mike Fry, Tech graduate and president of the Tech Golden Bear Alumni Association, to the podium. Mike.
Thanks, Hillary. So I just got to take a moment and tell you that Jimmy Riston and I went to junior high school together and high school together until he disappeared. And he was correct. All the stories are true. So you can believe them all. Congratulations, Jimmy.
Thank you.
It's my honor to be here with you guys this evening to celebrate with my fellow Golden Bears and to recognize the wonderful alumni and to present our inaugural Tech Golden Bear Alumni Association Awards to two deserving individuals. This award was added by the Alumni Association several months ago to help us expand opportunities to recognize outstanding alumni for their service. Our first honoree for this award is Paul Maddox. Paul. Paul graduated from Tech with a bachelor's degree in civil engineering in 1982. That is a good thing because it makes him older than me. He also holds a master's degree in engineering from Marshall University. He began his career at the West Virginia Division of Highways as a co-op student in 1979 and worked with the Department of Highways until 1987. He also worked with numerous engineering firms before being appointed as the West Virginia Commissioner of Highways in 2005 and as acting Cabinet Secretary of the West Virginia Department of Transportation in 2006. He served dual roles as Cabinet Secretary of the West Virginia DOT and Commissioner of Highways until his retirement in 2017. He is the longest-serving Transportation Secretary and Highways Commissioner in West Virginia history. Maddox has held many leadership roles and is a registered professional engineer in 6 states. Paul has won numerous accolades and awards, including being recognized as a Marshall University Distinguished Alumni and honored by Governor Earl Ray Tomblin as Distinguished West Virginian. He currently chairs the Institutional Board of Visitors for West Virginia Tech and represents Tech on the WVU Board of Governors. Paul serves on the Tech Golden Bear Alumni Association Board of Directors as a member of the Executive Committee and as past president. In 2013, he was the speaker at WVU Tech's commencement ceremonies. It's my honor to present this award to Paul Maddox on behalf of the Tech Golden Bear Alumni Association.
Good evening. I'd like to thank the Tech Golden Bear Alumni Association for this recognition and award. Our executive committee, made up of very outstanding individuals. Mike Fry, our president. Mike, thank you for your leadership. John Jarrett, Steve Claywell, Stacy Fragel, Casey Foster, the voice of the Golden Bears, Randy Hunt, and our Chief of Staff, Jen Woods. Appreciate all your time and effort that goes into running such an important organization for WVU Tech. As they mentioned, I was the longest serving secretary and highway commissioner in the history of West Virginia. But I had Mr. Jimmy Riston, my go-to guy. Usually when the secretary summons you to his office, it's like being summoned to the principal's office in high school. It's not usually a good thing. But Jimmy talked about the 9 titles that he had. And I believe, Jimmy, I think all 9 of those titles are titles I bestowed upon you. He put them on his business card, and he actually had them printed front and back because the titles were so numerous. When Joe Manchin asked me to serve as Commissioner of Highways in 2005, we started a trend. 3 of the past 4 secretaries of the West Virginia DOT are West Virginia Tech graduates, and we're very proud of that. West Virginia DOH is over 100 years old. It's about daggone time that we got some tech people running highways. I want to recognize Elena Keller, Tech graduate. She's Deputy Secretary, Deputy Commissioner. Her husband Perry, great friend of mine, went to Marshall, but we forgive him. Want to recognize Ed Robinson. Ed was he's always been a mentor to me. Field of civil engineering, I've always tried to model my behavior and my engineering professionalism after Ed Robinson. He's here with his wife, April. I'd like to recognize Trey and his wife, Michelle. They're here this evening. Have an older daughter that she gained her angel wings at the age of 26. And I've got another daughter that she's not here with us this evening. I started her out in the right direction. She was here at WVU Tech for 2 years, but currently she transferred to Marshall last year. I don't know what happened. Perry must have talked to her. But she had a test this evening and could not make this event. Before I wrap up, a couple of stories. Remember one day I was sitting in my office, secretary's office, and my executive assistant starts getting all excited. Paul, come here. So I get up out of my desk. It'd been a relatively calm morning. Go in there, and she's got on her computer monitor, it looked like a propane flamethrower going across 4 lanes of highway. I look at it, and I said, oh my God, I said, some poor SOB is going to have a bad day today. She looks at me and she goes, well, you're that poor SOB. That's right out here on I-77. I know more than turn around, the phone's ringing. Governor wants me to meet him at the airport, 10 minutes, fly over in the helicopter, take a look at it. On my way to the airport, I call my go-to guy, Jimmy Riston, and the interstate basically was cooked. It looked like you walked across it, it was cinders. It was like walking across the volcanic landscape, melted guardrail, melted signs. It was a mess. We talked throughout the night, and by, was it 8 the next morning? They thought the interstate was going to be shut down for 2 months. This man had it opened up the next morning, paved everything, and we did it for less than $250,000 because I remember that we gave the gas company the bill and they could not believe that it was that low. In fact, the governor's wanting to add a 0 or 2 to it. Last but not least, I want to recognize my wife, Elaine. She knew me when I was a student here at West Virginia Tech. We went to West Virginia Tech back in the late 70s, early 80s. And appreciate everything about Elaine. We went our separate ways after West Virginia Tech. Got a phone call one evening from Joe Manchin. He was running for senator. And he asked me to meet him over at Sleepy Hollow, which was 5 minutes away from me. And I really wasn't in the mood to go to a political event that evening, but I went. Of course, Joe Manchin calls. You don't tell Joe no. So I'm standing at the door waiting for Joe Manchin to arrive, and I look, and Elaine Davis at the time was walking up the steps, and we kind of looked at each other like long-lost friends. It was like, Elaine, Paul, yeah. And from that day on, that's been 14 years ago. We dated on and off for several years, engaged, unengaged. Finally, a couple of years ago, we got married, and I tell you, I appreciate you, Elaine. Thank you. She knew me back when I was in college and married me anyway, so what could I say? Well, congratulations to all the winners. This means a lot to me. Means a lot coming from the Alumni Association. So I wrap up. I do just want to give you all a little bit of a teaser, a couple of things. Secretary Riston has got a project that is going to totally transform this campus in the city of Beckley. And I'm very fortunate to be the one kind of driving the train on this project. And all the power lines, the power poles that you see down campus, they're going to be gone. This project's about safety for our students, for the traveling public, and it's about turning this area that West Virginia Tech is part of into a true college campus. To wrap up, earlier today I had the one-on-one conversation. It's a Zoom meeting with President Gee. We've got some really, really exciting things in store for WVU Tech. So hang on, sky's the limit, right, Secretary? No doubt. Thank you.
The Tech Golden Bear Alumni Association's second honoree for this award is being presented posthumously to his family. This award recognizes service, and that is a perfect word to describe James Jim Piercy. Tonight we are proud to honor Jim for his service to his country, community, and alma mater. James Jim Piercy was born in Clintonville in Greenbrier County. He won the Golden Horseshoe in 8th grade and graduated from Lewisburg High School, where he played football. In 1955, he met his wife, Leona, at WVU Tech, where they were both students. Piercy served as student body president in 1956 and graduated from Tech in 1957 with his bachelor's degree in engineering. Shortly after graduation, he married Leona, and they moved to Charleston, where he worked for Union Carbide as an electrical engineer for 29 years. In 1975, he received his master's degree in engineering from the College of Graduate Studies and Institute, West Virginia. Piercy was a member of the West Virginia Air National Guard from 1958 to 1987. He received the Commander's Trophy for being the top graduate in his 1960 pilot training class, and retired as a lieutenant colonel with over 5,200 flying hours in C-130 aircraft. In 1986, Piercy returned to Tech as a faculty member in the electrical engineering and technology programs. He also taught math to those who wanted to pursue a GED until 2019. Over the years, he attended many sporting and other school-related events and served as a mentor to many students who came through Tech. He loved being a Golden Bear. Jim passed away at the age of 89 on November 3rd, 2022. He was a great man and a wonderful alumnus. It is my honor to present this award to the family of James Jim Piercy on behalf of the Tech Golden Bear Alumni Association.
I drew the short straw this evening, obviously. So, my name is Jennifer Piercy. I'm the youngest. With me tonight is my sister Valerie, my brother Brian, and my brother Jay. And for full disclosure, everybody in our family went to Tech except for my sister and I. We went to Marshall. I'm sorry. On behalf of our father, James Piercy, we want to say thank you to the staff, administration, and alumni of WVU Tech for this opportunity to recognize his life. We are delighted you are here with us to celebrate how much our dad loved Tech. Tech played a major role in shaping our dad's life of service. The definition of a man's success can mean many things, and for our dad, it was always giving back to others. It's something that he instilled in us as his children and in many others that he encountered along the way. Our dad was given the opportunity to go to college, and he was not going to squander it. And Tech impacted him almost immediately. As a student, he participated in Pep Club, and in 1956, he took on the role of student body president. Tech is also where he met our mother, Leona. And Dad's experience at Tech helped build the foundation of the importance of education and being active in your community. Tech also allowed him to participate in some activities that we just won't talk about here this evening. They may not have been for the greater good. Dad landed in Charleston after graduation and served as an engineer for Union Carbide for 29 years. And although Tech was an hour away, he was still involved, sending 2 of his 4 children to school there. Our dad loved a lot of things in life, but boy, oh boy, did he love West Virginia Tech. He loved Tech and he loved electrical engineering. If you knew the number of times on a Saturday he would march through the house, pumping his fists in the air, singing the fight song, in his favorite Golden Bear t-shirt. Growing up, he drugged me to so many WVIAC basketball tournament games, I can't count them. One of his favorite activities, though, was meeting Tech students. He wanted to discuss their majors, their plans for their future, how they were doing in school. He was always there to help students with finding jobs, internships, making connections. He was always so proud of his school, and the loyalty to his alma mater eventually led him to teaching. In 1986, our dad retired from Union Carbide and was winding down his career with the West Virginia Air National Guard. He was presented with an opportunity to teach at Tech. This time as an instructor is what really made an impact on him. As many of you know, teaching can be challenging and frustrating, but for our dad, he truly enjoyed solving problems. He loved showing a student how to figure out a math formula. His goal was to help open their eyes to their own possibilities and that they can be successful with a little hard work. I think that when our dad started down this path, he wanted to impart his knowledge and be part of an outstanding program that sent graduates out into the world. His passion led to many relationships he built over the years simply through imparting this knowledge and showing students what is actually possible. He was given a chance to go to college, and he ran with it, building a very successful life. And so he wanted students to have that chance as well, and he worked very hard to help make that happen. His life was all about service, giving back to others, lending a hand. He always stepped up, and that could mean anything. Helping with homework, mowing the church's grass when it was 90 degrees outside. He loved to play the piano and sing at Hubbard Hospice House. He timed at high school swim meets. He helped friends move furniture that was clearly much too heavy for him to lift. He also even gave back by officiating the high jump at the state high school track meet in his signature straw hat. All of this service and desire for service came from his time at WVU Tech. His education there opened doors for him, and in return, he wanted to help open those doors for others. So thank you, WVU Tech, not only for this recognition of our dad, but for helping build the foundation on which his house was built. Thank you.
At this time, it's my honor to introduce the President of West Virginia Institute of Technology, Dr. T. Ramon Stewart, who will present the Lifetime Achievement Award and provide some closing remarks tonight.
Well, certainly, good evening. Good evening. All right, we're going to try that one more time. Good evening. Good evening. So I know it's a little warm in here. I've asked them to turn the heat down, but I guess that presidential authority don't extend over here to Glade Springs. So we're going to call in the Department of Highways and see what we can get. But so thank you so much, Mike, and thank you to each one of you here. And it's funny, I have this bad habit. I really do not prepare remarks. And part of the challenge why I do not prepare remarks is because if I started to prepare, we would be in here a long time, and that lovely wife of mine over here, she'll be looking at me thinking about you need to sit down, so you all can thank your First Lady in advance, the lovely Jamila Stewart, because I will not be here long. Somebody said amen. But in all seriousness, part of the reason I do not prepare remarks is because every time I try to prepare something, someone else takes it. And when you sit and you think about what we're celebrating today, you think about the growth and evolution of this particular event. And I appreciate and applaud the vision and leadership of my Chief of Staff, Jen Wood. And I look at the deans here, our Dean of Business, Humanities and Social Sciences, Scott Fleming, and our Dean of Engineering and Sciences, Tamara Floyd Smith. And I think about our Chair of Nursing. I think about the things that they're doing today to prepare alumni of tomorrow. And when you think about what we're doing here today, I'm a prime example. I always talk about this notion of it's hard for you to be what you cannot see. And so as we look back and we see Stacy Forgill, and she's there with not only somebody she's mentored and helped welcome to the bar to practice law, but also another one of our student athletes here today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the power of tech. And see, yeah, there you go, Jimmy. And I talk about the power of tech because, as Paul has said, and Jimmy has mentioned, and Bird White had to leave to take care of his lovely wife, Sue, the power of tech runs this state. I hear you all keep talking about Marshall and everything, but I'm here to tell you, Marshall folks, that yellow and blue makes green. Because see what happens, some of them will get that on the way home, okay? Because what happens here at Tech, We are the individuals that since 1895, we have engineered success. That engineered success has been born on the backs of blood and sweat and tears. It's been a foundation that's laid by us and for us by dedicated leaders like my previous president, Carolyn Long. But most importantly, it's been cemented with the contributions of each one of you. And so at Tech, you know, we always talk about engineering and we talk about civil and mechanical and chemical engineering. But ladies and gentlemen, we engineer success at Tech. And if you have any question about the success that we engineer, take a moment, take a quick moment and look around this room, because this is the institution that built this state, and this is the institution that will continue to help it be great. So give yourselves a round of applause. And so now I'm going to get on to the order of business. My wife has already given me that look and everything, so y'all can say thank you. But tonight is truly a special occasion. Truly, it's an auspicious occasion, because as we sit here and we honor all of these outstanding alumni and celebrate with them, and when we think about that celebration, each one of you are surrounded by a village. And it's that village that has helped you through those long nights. It has that village that has wiped away your tears. And so with that village in mind, I want to talk to you about somebody that is a visionary. And so this evening, we want to recognize a person who served his alma mater and cherished institution with service to the WVU Board of Governors, and while also leading the WVU Tech Board of Visitors for so many years. And beyond this service, in these roles, this individual has been known as the man who literally and figuratively kept the lights on for a number of years during some of the most challenging times. And when you think about this is service to his community with involvement in the National Society of Professional Engineers and the American Society of Civil Engineers. This is where he served in state and national leadership roles. See, tonight, we're going to talk about a person that was named Engineer of the Year in 1998 and 1997 in respective organizations. He's also received the Tech Alumni of the Year award for the Leonard C. Nelson College of Engineering in 1992. And he was recently recognized, as someone told you early, as a distinguished West Virginian by award of Transportation Secretary Jimmy Riston on behalf of Governor Jim Justice. See, this is a man who's a native of Putnam County, a man who earned his bachelor's degree in civil engineering from Tech in 1969. And after 10 years of working for, guess where? The Department of Highways, go figure. He founded an engineering firm. And with only 3 other employees in 1978, this is a man that embarked on a business and embarked in an industry, but he still wanted to elevate himself through a degree in civil engineering, a master's degree in 1981 from West Virginia University. And this is a man that's been honored with an honorary doctorate from Tech in 2002. This is a man that, under his leadership, his company has grown into a highly diversified engineering and surveying firm with hundreds of full-time employees and support personnel with offices in 6 states. But no matter where he has gone and what he has done, he's so proud that these country roads have always led him back, because his corporate headquarters still exists in Cross Lanes, West Virginia, where he started his initial business. This is a man that started with a small surveying firm, and now it hosts a complete range of services from construction management, transportation, utility, geotechnical, bridge and structural engineering, surveying, land planning, landscape architecture, and even site development too. This is a man that we are so proud of today because many graduates from this institution have started their career with his firm. And to this day, graduates of Tech are always able to find a home. And so after 45 years of distinguished service, this is a man that chose to hang it up in 2023. And now he gets to spend his time at home with his wonderful wine collection, with that beautiful wife of his, a wife by the name of April, continuing to golf with his college friend, John Stroud, and all while still working with his horses and being a loving father to his 2 daughters. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is a man that we today will celebrate. And that man is none other than Ed Robinson. But I tell you what, see, one of the things that we've tried to do since I've been here, we have tried to build new traditions. And when you think about somebody, again, that has helped keep the lights on, who served and represented this institution at the highest levels in terms of academic policy within West Virginia University. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to exercise a little bit of personal privilege. And not only am I going to recognize this man who is Ed Robinson, what we're going to do on this day is we're going to change up a little bit. Because as we stand here and we want to celebrate Ed Robinson for his lifetime achievement, I can think of no better person than to rename this award for. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please rise and welcome to the podium the recipient of the 2024 Presidential Award that will from here forward be known as the Ed Robinson Presidential Citation. Ed.
I don't know that I can. You know, I got an email yesterday, and these people wanted to charge me $1,500 to do a bio on me because they were calling me something special, but that's really not true. They wanted $1,500, so I guess I'm going to have to mail you a check for $1,500 because there's no way they could have done anything near that good. I'm going to be brief. I'm the same age as Trump and almost the same age as Biden, so we have our senior moments. I had to get that in for both sides. When Dr. Stewart called, I really wanted him to pick someone else. I didn't know why he was calling me. But I am going to get around to part of that. Very briefly, I do want to recognize people at my table, and then a few people over here. April, according to the ICU nurse, which I got to know very well at the end of December, saved my life by getting my butt out of the house and taking me to the doctor. So I thank her for that. By the way, I knew Jim Piercy, and I think there's one thing you left out. I never met Jim Piercy when he didn't have a smile on his face, and just excited to be doing whatever he was doing. So he is worthy of any award from Tech. And John Stroud, whom I've known since, 60 years, I guess. We went to college together and then ultimately the same fraternity together. And Linda, his wife, is much younger than he is. She wasn't in school with us. President Stewart recognized Carolyn Long, who was president of Tech, and I told President Clemens at the time, I said, I told you I'd be quiet for a while, but I'm going to tell you something. We have to have Carolyn at Tech. If Tech's going to survive, send her down, and she'll tell you if it can or cannot. And obviously it did, and now we're in Beckley. And I think it is a place, and once you get that street done, both of you, it's going to be fantastic. And it'll be a blessing. Beckley will say, thank God Tech came here. And Dr. Paul Rakes, it's always good to be with you. I thought you were going to bring the guitar and play me a tune tonight. I want to go back to tell you why I got involved in Tech. Joshua Cook's right. We need to get involved in Tech. We need to do our part. Whatever you think that part is, please consider monetary or just getting involved in Tech. I think it was in the 90s probably that when I first started working with civil engineering, our firm was doing really well with the Division of Highways back then. And, we're hiring a lot of the students coming out of Tech, and some of the professors aren't making as much as our students were in the first year. So when there's inequities, you have to get involved, and I got involved. And civil engineering means the world to me. Civil engineering molds the shape of the earth. And we make good targets for bombs too. But one more thing before I tell the last thing about civil engineering. Up here you had 20, Berg left, you had 20 years, I think my math's right, of the leaders at the Department of Transportation. Let me tell you why that's important. I don't know, what, they got 6,000 employees at one time? 7,000? I don't know, there were a lot of employees. A lot of those were engineers. I mean, they hired a lot of graduates. But let me tell you about our graduates. And I disagree a little bit with you, a little bit, Joshua. And let me tell you why. I've seen over the years our Tech graduates do some of the greatest work in this world. I mean, we build complicated structures in West Virginia. You've driven over them. The New River Gorge Bridge, the citizens of the state of West Virginia picked it as on the back of their quarter, a civil engineering landmark. And Paul's on the video. If you watch the History Channel, you'll see Paul Maddox talking about the New River Gorge Bridge. But Dr. Steve Leftwich and Dr. Hahn asked me to write a letter. Just tell them about my career, and I thought, okay, I'll do that. And then as I got to looking at all of the work that we had done, all the water treatment plants, the wastewater treatment plants, all the storm sewer projects, and there's one I didn't mention because It's hard to explain briefly in a letter how that you can find a fault 110 feet below the surface of the earth that a bridge is going to rest upon and stop it. And we did. Well, I mean, for the last 25 months.
You had to go there.
It was, I tell you what, I puckered for a long time. That was a very difficult project. But thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you. Thank you for coming and honoring all these great people that I heard about this evening. Thank you, Dr. Stewart. Do appreciate you, sir. And the checks in the mail.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our program tonight. You know, you've come here tonight for the past 3 hours, and you have joined with friends, you've hugged, you've shaked hands, you've even wiped away a couple tears. And that is because you have come home, and there's no place like home. And here at Tech, what we want to continue to do is we want to continue to be that place you come home to. Not only do we want to be the place that you come home to, we want our doors to be open to so many future generation Golden Bears. And so as we go forward, I'm asking you for some simple things. First of all, as you look on your table, you'll see a plethora of things. And they simply remind people about who we are. They tell people what we do. But most important, I would ask that each one of you be an advocate out in public, assuring people that we can, shall, and will do it for them too. Because our ability to connect current and future generations of students with Tech will be our ability to engineer success at a much higher level. And so I thank you, and you heard in the opening remarks, I thank you, and it's something I talk about all the time, the simple 3 T's, 3 cubed as we would say in engineering school. I thank you for your time, because for the last 3 hours you could have been anywhere doing anything, but you saw fit to spend those 3 hours right here. I thank you for your talent. We've honored honorees here or whatever, but we have so much talent in this room because we are all educated in a way that we're elevated. But more importantly, more than anything else, I thank each one of you for being a treasure to your family, a treasure to the state, a treasure to yourself, but also a treasure to Tech. So Golden Bears, let's go forward. Let's continue to engineer. Let's continue to engineer success in all that we do, and we'll see you next year right here too. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Coach Springston, I know you have a cult-like following in here tonight, but we're going to do a quick welcome, and then we'll get on with the program. Let me be the first to say we are just so happy that you're back here for the 2024 Hall of Fame induction dinner. It's my honor and privilege to introduce campus president, Dr. T. Ramon Stewart.
Well, certainly good evening, everyone. All right, we're going to try this one more time. Good evening. All right. It's so good to see all of you back here at Tech. You know, this is a special night as we honor the 2024 Hall of Fame inductee honorees. When I walk past these 3 names here, I look and I see excellence. And when you think about whether you was on the football field or whatever sport that you chose to play, you exemplified what it meant to be a student athlete. And I'm so proud of the student athletes at Tech because Not everybody gets to go to the NBA or the NFL or whatever, but each one of you have had the opportunity to excel. And when you think about the things that you've learned, the coaches that have coached you, when you think about the blood, the sweat, and the tears that have been left on the field, those are the things that have built the grit and resiliency that has propelled you throughout your career. And so why don't you join me in giving the honorees a round of applause? And as we pause to recognize them, I'm so excited because athletics plays such a critical point. We have our faculty athletic rep here today, Deb Beitler. Athletics is so important to us because it's through athletics that that bond is created. It's through athletics that education is elevated. But most importantly, it's through athletics that when we look at retention and graduation rates, I'm here to say that not only do we excel in the River States Conference, but we continue to see outstanding student athletes excel. And so what I want to tell you to the honorees today, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for the path that you've laid. And most importantly, I want to thank you for lending your talents to Tech, because it's because of you and the shoulders that you have that we stand, that we can thrive today. Have a great ceremony. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Stewart, for those remarks. Before we start with the meal, I'd like to take this opportunity to just thank the Kellys. I do this every year, and every year I get emotional about it, but without these two, there wouldn't have been a Hall of Fame in Montgomery, and there wouldn't be a Hall of Fame in Beckley. Obviously, the Barrett Kelly Hall of Fame is their namesake, and it will be forever. So Pete and Sue, thank y'all. All right, now, before we actually have the meal, we'd like to take just a moment and have a brief moment of silence for those Golden Bears that we lost this year. We did lose a few of those special folks, Hall of Famers, that are very important to us. So if you would, just bow your head for just a moment. Would like to say another thanks and appreciation to the folks at Pendleton Community Bank. Bill and his staff have gone out of their way to make this weekend possible. So let's give Bill a nice round of applause, and all the folks at PCB. I'm not sure if you're aware, but other than sponsoring tonight's events, they've also bought out the Beckley-Riley County Convention Center for tomorrow. So every event tomorrow is free. There's a tailgate on the convention side and free admission for everyone because of the folks at PCB. So Bill, thanks again. We appreciate you. We'd also like to thank the rest of tonight's sponsors, the Tech Golden Bear Alumni Association, New Rivers Engineers, Cucumber and Company, Paul and Elaine Maddox, and our table sponsors tonight, Bullet Bob Arrett, Ryan Browning, the family of Jim Piercy, Frigio Law Firm, and Ed Robinson. So thank you to all you folks. Tonight's first presenter, someone I know pretty well. Our first inductee is Devon DeVoe, but I think Alan Clark is going to be our presenter for our first awardee tonight. Alan?
All right, thank you guys, appreciate it. I don't know if I really need this mic or not. I'm an old coach myself, so can everybody hear me good? Do I need to raise it up? All right, so I'm very honored to be able to be here tonight and to present my former college teammate, but more importantly, my close friend, Devon DeVoe, as he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. It could not be a more deserving player than this gentleman over here. And I'm gonna kind of keep it informal, tell a few stories, and then we'll get it going. But one thing about Devon, we come in at Tech, Coach Springson signed him about a week late. We had been in camp about a week, and we were out there practicing. And when he come out on the field, everyone with us already started camp. He kind of had the worst of the worst, or the last of the equipment. So here he comes out, 5'7", 200 pounds, 210 pounds, 215. Here he comes running out on the field with a lineman jersey. I can't even remember the number. It's probably like 74 or something. Old helmet, old beat up helmet, pants all big old thigh pads. I mean, he had the worst equipment that was left over. And he come running out, and we was all like, oh, who is this guy? And then he got there so late, a lot of people don't know, our teammates do, he started out playing nose, and I think he was like 5th on the depth chart. And so, lo and behold, I don't even know how. I don't know if someone got injured. Long story short, he ended up getting to play nose. But we was like, okay. He was making some plays. But then he did a great job playing nose. But I'm going to tell you, I don't know how it happened, but he got to play his natural position. That's the linebacker position. And boy, oh boy, he was bringing, what we say, the wood. He was bringing the noise, bringing contact. He would hit folks. And everybody knows that. Teammates can attest to it. He is probably one of the best linebackers that I've seen play the game. And for you guys don't know, I'm a high school coach down in Georgia, and we had some talented players come through there. But he was the best linebacker I've seen play the game. And everyone will tell you, he hit folks, made plays all over the field. He hit one particular play that he made. I think we were playing Wesleyan. It was 4th and 1, and he blitzed that A gap, and he hit that young man in the backfield, and that helmet popped straight up. And the bad part was he knocked himself silly. He come to the sideline. He didn't even know that. He was like, "Did I stop him, dude? Did I stop him?" So he is a very talented player, and that's what you want, obviously. In these Hall of Fames, you want talented players in their sport, but on another note, you won't find a better human being than that gentleman right there. And it's a blessing for me because we live about 20 minutes from each other, and so we've been able to keep a connection, after college football. And I can tell you, he is a great, great man, and that's what makes this day even more special. And so that's, something I cherish. Our friendship, we still talk often and see each other. And one thing about it, he's a coach himself, so he does a great job giving back to sports and athletics and making, helping boys become young men. And so it's very rewarding. I know it's very rewarding for him to do that. So it's been a calling for him. He does a great job with that as well. But it's been a privilege to come up here. Just wanted to share a little bit about him. Again, Devo, proud of you. You know I love you. And congratulations on this great honor tonight.
All right. Well, like all of them know, I don't like talking as much. But I appreciate this honor. I really enjoy just playing football, especially with all my teammates. And right now, this is has been a crazy week because right now I'm in the middle of wrestling season and we're getting ready for the state championship. So I have a few of my boys hitting me up right now, but like Coach Clark say, Big Miss say, I'm really honored. All I can say is I always try to just be the best and try to show that being the shortest guy and sometimes being the slowest guy, you can still play. And
Good deal.
yeah, so we get overlooked a lot. But I really, truly enjoyed my time at West Virginia Tech. We always talk about it. That was the best 4 years. This is like my second home. I travel here at least once a year to try to come see old friends in Huntington. But I would have to say this is truly, truly has touched me. And I tell all my kids now, hard work pays off. So no matter how big you are, what's your size, speed, if you work hard, whatever you want. So like they know every morning in the weight room, 6:30, no matter what night, I'm there. Every workout, I'm there. And if you work whatever you want to, if you want to accomplish something, it's all about hard work. But I appreciate Coach Springston giving me a chance to come over there and play. I appreciate all my teammates for pushing me to work hard. And it gave me an opportunity to continue playing football overseas. And I appreciate my mother and my grandmother, and my aunt, and my sister and them for, they only knew I love football. So they was the ones who come and drop me off to college and leave me somewhere and just told me to find my way. And I appreciate you. Thank you.
Your name was so long. I couldn't fit it on the plane. Listen, this table may be trouble before the end of the night. Coach, I hope you got them wrangled in back there. All right, you're in charge. Congratulations again, Devon. Next, we have Tice, Aaliyah, and Jalen McNair, who are going to present our next Hall of Famer, which will be Gary Smith tonight. Y'all want to come on up?
Hi, everyone. My name is Jalen McNair. This is my sister, Aaliyah, and my brother, Tice.
We have a great privilege of presenting our grandfather the West Virginia Tech Athletic Hall of Fame Award.
But first of all, we would like to congratulate all three winners.
And we would like to thank West Virginia Tech and the committee for all their hard work in recognizing the accomplishments of the three former athletes at Tech.
Our main job, though, is to present our award to Gary Smith,
AKA Big Brother, Bulldog, G-Funk.
Pops and Dada.
First, though, a little background on Gary Smith.
Gary was a three-sport star at Franklin High School,
where he was all-state in football and baseball.
He was even offered a contract with the Pittsburgh Pirates to pitch baseball.
However, his main love was football, and that love led him to play for the Golden Bears at West Virginia Tech.
Gary was a four-year starter at linebacker and an all-conference selection his senior year.
Gary was also a standout pitcher on the Tech baseball field for 4 years, where he was recognized as all-conference selection as well.
Gary was also chosen as the Senior Athlete of the Year at Tech and awarded the Neil Bizey Trophy.
While at Tech, he married his high school sweetheart and love of his life, Deborah.
AKA Nana.
After his college days, Gary pursued his love of football and became one of the most well-known high school football coaches in the state of West Virginia.
He led his Franklin and Pendleton County football teams to the state tournament 10 years and won over 200 games in a 35-plus year career.
Gary also coached many other sports, including my favorite, volleyball, and took them to the state tournament as well.
He also coached golf, girls softball, and baseball.
Coach, as he still goes by today, passed his athletic genes on to his daughter, Michelle, and his son, Rodney.
Michelle, aka Shelly Bean, and Uncle Rod had athletic careers at Glenville State in volleyball and football.
Gary also passed his athletic genes on to us, his grandchildren.
Our brother Jalen played football as a quarterback for 5 years in the Mountain East Conference.
My brother Tice played basketball at JMU.
And my sister Aaliyah is being recruited as a volleyball player in her junior year of high school.
But enough about us.
Today belongs to our grandfather Gary Smith, Devon DeVoe, and Benjamin Wood.
It brings us great pleasure to present Dada, Pops, Bulldog, Gary Smith
with the West Virginia Tech Hall of Fame Award for the year 2024.
The last line was, "We love you, Gary."
Tell you what, those are hard acts to follow right there, that's for sure. But that's an awesome introduction, guys. I appreciate every bit of it. This is a very special occasion, no doubt. And when you have your grandchildren presenting you, it doesn't get any better than that. And of course, I've got the rest of my family sitting out here as well. My daughter, my brother, nephews, we got people all over the place here. So it is indeed a great evening. They stole a little bit of my thunder. They wouldn't let me read what they were presenting, so I've doubled up here a little bit too as well. So I'll cut through it, it'll make it a little shorter. But as they said, they were very good athletes themselves, though what they didn't tell you was Tice was all-state in basketball. Jalen was all-state in football, and Aaliyah is all-state in volleyball at her junior year. So they've done very well. But I also have to mention that Jalen, who coaches at Mercyhurst University, drove over 6 hours this morning to get here so he could be a part of that. So I really appreciate that too. And of course, a special thank you to the rest of my family who have made the long trip down here to support me. I want to thank Mr. Howell and all the board members involved in this whole process. It is indeed an honor to be part of this prestigious group. I was recruited to Tech a long time ago, a lot longer than Javon back there, or Devon, I'm sorry. I was recruited by Coach James Hill to play football, and he came back later on in baseball season, and he saw me pitching a game, and he said, you know what, I'm the head baseball coach, how about you come and play in baseball too? So I ended up playing baseball and football, and really enjoyed my times with Coach Hill. He was a great man and a great coach, and was very fortunate to be able to play under him. I had the opportunity to start 4 years in football and 4 years in baseball. It was an awesome experience, and I appreciated everything, but there was one thing Coach Hill didn't tell me about. He didn't tell me about those 98 steps that went all the way up to, yeah, and how many times we had to run them, that was the thing. Yeah, that might have changed my mind a little bit, I'm not sure. But 3 years later, my brothers, Steve and Greg, joined me. There was an article which would appear later on in USA Today stating that we were the only team to have 3 brothers playing the same sport in the United States at that particular time. So that was a pretty special year as well. Also, excuse me, even though we were only 2 years apart, we were 3 years apart in school. So we never got to play together in high school. So this was the first time that we actually were able to get on the field together, is that first year in college. So that made it that much more special. A little story. Where is Greg? Where are you at? Okay, there he is, Greg. And they came down, the evening we came down before the first practice, they looked at me and said, Gary, what are we going to do tonight? And I said, what do you mean? He said, we're going out, aren't we? And I said, nah, I don't think so, Greg. And I'm not sure we're going to do that. And he goes, oh, come on now, tell the truth. Where are we going tonight? We're going out, aren't we? I said, I don't think we'll be going anywhere. And they kept asking me, and I kept telling them the same thing. And finally, they stopped. So the next morning, we got started. Now, in those days, there was no time restraints. They didn't limit the number of practices that you had. So we're up early in the morning, and we've got a 2-hour practice. We go back and eat lunch, back out in the afternoon, another 2-hour practice. Go eat dinner, back out that evening for special teams and other things, and then film afterwards. So we roll into the house about 11 o'clock, somewhere along there. They walked straight to the bedroom and fell face first into the bed. Never even took their clothes off. Of course, I had to ride them a little bit, so I walked in. I said, going out, boys, tonight, ain't we? Let's go. But they got no response. So that was their start of the season. Those were special years for us. As I've said, I made so many great friends and memories at Tech during this time. I think it prepared us very well for my football career and my teaching career, which has lasted over 45 years. And I've always been astounded at the number of coaches which came from that group. And there's well over, I could think of 20 plus coaches, and I won't try to name them all, but I'll just like to recognize a couple here that I think you might be aware of, and some of them I think are already in the Hall of Fame. But Mike White was in our group. Joey Kania was in our group. Bobby Dawson, Benny Hopkins, Neil Hopkins, Ralph Hensley, who was such a successful coach at East Bank for all those years. Yogi Kinder. Yogi still coached very successfully. Don Money, and of course my two brothers, Greg and Steve Smith. So, and there was many more. But those guys have, it's quite a list of outstanding coaches. There's been a lot of wins with that group, and I think that probably if you would ask them today, they'd all tell you that our experiences and our time spent at Tech probably prepared us very well. So again, thank you. I'm extremely honored to receive this award. As Mike Springston used to say, go Bears.
How about another round of applause for Gary Smith? And tonight's final inductee is somebody that obviously I've been at Tech over 18 years now. So I go back quite a long ways. But this young man was an outstanding student athlete, a serviceman, helped us coach, and is just a quality individual. But his brother, Aaron Wood, will be here to present him tonight's final inductee, Ben Wood. Aaron, if you would.
I'll be brief because my older brother, he's the hardest worker in the room most of the time, but he hates to be recognized. And he is a tough wrestler, and he used to wear me out all the time, so I'll keep it short. I'm honored to introduce him and recognize him for his achievement. I think it's outstanding that he is being recognized for his excellence in the sport of wrestling, and I'm confident that I was one of his biggest fans. He was disciplined and strong and methodically technical, and to this day, he was one of my favorite people to watch because he brought an intellectual aspect to the sport. He made it, it was a combat sport, but kind of like a chess match. He's super smart, and it's been evident in his life. And I could list several accolades, but what was most impressive, in my opinion, he didn't do it a lot, but it's the way that he lost. His junior and senior year of high school, he was preseason ranked #1, and when you reach the state finals, coming from a wrestling school, it's kind of the end of the road for something that you've trained for since you were a 5-year-old. And both years, he suffered heartbreaking upsets. And I remember his senior year, I remember when the clock expired and he had lost, I remember him sitting on the mat for a moment, and his family felt the weight of the disappointment and the heartbreak for all of his hard work. But I just saw grace and humility. The way that he lost, it helped him develop into the man that he is today. It helped him develop into a Marine that served our country in Iraq. It helped him develop into a law enforcement officer that has served our communities faithfully. It's helped him develop into a devoted father and a husband. And I'm incredibly honored to recognize him and introduce him for this induction into the Hall of Fame. But I'm more honored to be his little brother, and I still follow his footsteps and desire to be the man that he is. And I can't put that into words for you all to know him the way that I do, but he is incredible, and I'm thankful to know him. So if you'll help me recognize my older brother.
Thank you again. Immeasurably blessed and extremely honored. When Kenny called me to let me know that this was going to happen, I've just kind of been on cloud nine ever since. Can't express how grateful I am to be here. I can't express how grateful I am for Tech to offer me the opportunity that they did. When I left high school, I thought I was done with my wrestling career, and I walked on with Bob Simile in the inaugural team. He welcomed me with open arms. Tech welcomed me with open arms and gave me the opportunity that so many kids in the Coalfields have that up until that point we didn't. We didn't get recruited. We didn't have the opportunity, and Tech gave that to us. And I just cannot begin to express my gratitude and how honored I am tonight. Thank you.
I'm going to take some pictures with you. I know you love the spotlight, so we're going to keep it on. Ladies and gentlemen, I do this, this is my, like, hell, I think 18th, I think is what I said earlier, but every year I'm impressed with not just the quality of the student athletes that Tech seems to develop, but just the quality individuals that we continue to turn out. You look at these three people tonight, they make you proud to be Golden Bears. And I can't thank you guys enough for representing our institution the way you do. So I think you deserve another round of applause.